What's up YouTube? Jeff back again from High on Android, dopetechdaily.com, and today I'm here with a quick comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro 12.2. This is a tablet that released last year in March. It's a big 12.2-inch widescreen tablet, and of course the iPad Pro, which just released yesterday. I've got here the gold variant, 32 gigabyte. Just picked it up at Best Buy yesterday. Now obviously these are two very different devices, but they both share one important characteristic, which is that they are really huge tablets, and tablets that are sort of the expectation is that you're going to do some productivity with these tablets. So I sort of want to quickly give you a size comparison, then run down the features of each one. Obviously I've used this one for a lot longer, so there's going to be a little bit of a different sort of feel. I'm just getting used to the iPad Pro, so I'll give you some initial impressions. I know a lot about this tablet. I've used it, now for a year and a half. But first, a quick size comparison. So you can see here, the iPad Pro is 12.9-inch screen, so it's quite a bit bigger than also has bigger bezels. So if I sit the Pro on top, the iPad Pro on top of the Note Pro, you can't even see the Note Pro anymore. Completely eclipses it. Also, if we take a look here at the thickness, if we zoom in here, you can see the iPad is in fact a bit thinner than the Note Pro. The Note Pro, of course, has this plastic back on the back, makes it a little bit thicker. And then if you hold it in the hand, each of these tablets, it feels like the iPad's a little bit heavier. I did look at the numbers, of course, right before I did this video, and I believe they're very similar in weight, but the iPad just feels a little bit heavier in hand. That's my opinion. Obviously, it's the bigger of the two tablets, so it might feel that way for that reason. All right, so quickly, let me go through the specs of each and then sort of give you a little comparison, and I'll give you some first impressions on the iPad Pro. So let me put the iPad Pro out of the way first and tell you guys a little bit about the Note Pro. The Note Pro is a widescreen tablet, 12.2-inch screen size. It's got a 2560 by 1600 resolution, and as you can see, it's got a pretty high pixel density, 247 ppi, I do believe. It's running Android 5.0.2 Lollipop, 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's got the Snapdragon 800 on it. This one also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage. A couple of the other features, of course, on here. We've got speakers, dual speakers on each side. You guys can see there's one there, and then on the other side, right there. You can also see you've got your S Pen, so you can do some writing, take notes. You can see here it has the old charger that Samsung had, because again, this came out last year. You got a micro SD, and of course a SIM slot, because this is the LTE version. Now, one thing I love about this tablet is it does have great sound because of the dual speakers. So that was one of the main selling points for me. The other thing is if you like to consume a lot of media, this tablet is also fantastic for media consumption because it has this wide screen. So when you go and watch YouTube videos, those are going to look fantastic. Now obviously, this guy has sort of gotten a little dated because it has the Snapdragon 800, but it still plays games really well. And now that it's running Lollipop, it's been incredibly smooth for me. Has a huge 9,560 milliamp hour battery, I believe, which lasts me about 8 to 10 hours on an average use. So overall, this tablet has been fantastic for me. I really enjoyed it. I get great battery life. I love having the S Pen to take notes. It gets good gaming performance, and it's amazing for consuming media, especially watching YouTube videos or watching Netflix when you're traveling. All right, so that's a quick overview of the Note Pro 12.2. Let me put that to the side really quick, and let's bring in the iPad Pro. So let's talk a little bit about the iPad Pro. So the iPad Pro, of course, is a 12.9-inch tablet that Apple just released. Now this thing is kind of a beast. It's running the A9X chip, and it has 4 gigabytes of RAM. So Apple is basically marketing this as a tablet where you can do, video editing, whatever you want, sort of any pro-level task that you're interested in. Now just taking a tour around here, of course, since this is an Apple device, we have no micro SD slot. You guys can see, of course, that's always absent on Apple's devices. You can see you've got the camera here on the back. You've also got your volume rockers in a similar position to where they have been on the iPad Air. You've got your power button on the top. And one of the important features is on this tablet, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers. So this thing is actually going to sound even better than the Note Pro when it comes to media. And I watched some YouTube videos on this last night and today while I've had it, and this thing just sounds phenomenal when it comes to YouTube videos. Of course, you've got your Touch ID on here, as you always have now with your Apple devices. And this thing just looks phenomenal. The pixel density is a bit higher on this tablet than on the Note Pro. I believe it's 264 ppi. So both of them are pretty comparable in terms of their overall screen quality and everything like that. It's asking me to set up Apple Pay. I don't think I'm going to be using Apple Pay on this 12.9-inch monster. Imagine walking into a store and paying with a card on this monster. I don't know about that. Anyway, so this is the Wi-Fi variant, so this one does not have a SIM tray either. But there's a lot of great things about the iPad Pro, even though a lot of people have criticized it for not being really a pro-level tablet because some things, you don't have the expandable storage. But the iPad Pro does have a lot of great new apps that you can use that are even better with the iPad Pro. One of those I haven't set up fully yet is Coda, which is a high-level text editor which allows you to edit your code scripts for anything, especially using your websites. I'm going to load up Dope Tech Daily. This is actually one of the real reasons I got an iPad Pro and try to edit my website on the go because I've sort of neglected to update Dope Tech Daily. I'm sure you guys have noticed. That's usually because I'm so busy. But with this, you can connect your site and you can edit your HTML for your website right here. And then you can also use split screen to see the update in Safari in real time. A couple other apps just of mention, Evernote, as well as Notability. You guys can see I have those two apps right there. Notability is another great note-taking app that will really allow you to take advantage of the iPad Pro's screen real estate. Of course, you're going to want the Apple Pencil in order to take great notes with the iPad Pro. I do plan on getting an Apple Pencil, but they didn't have any yesterday. I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this up, so I didn't order an Apple Pencil ahead of time, and they're sort of all sold out. But Notability is another great app that you can use. Overall, this thing has been incredibly fast in my time with it, as I would expect with the 4 gigabytes of RAM. But at the end of the day, as I mentioned, a lot of people have criticized this for not being a true laptop replacement, and that's because you can't do everything you could do on a laptop. So for instance, I use programs like MATLAB and Mathematica for my research, also full Adobe Premiere, things like that if you're an Adobe user. Those are things you can't do on here. Of course, you can do some video editing, that's obvious, but full Adobe Premiere with editing huge 4K video workflows, things like that. Even though you can do some light editing on here, it's going to be much better, much faster on a powerful Mac Pro, on a MacBook Pro, on an iMac, etc. So this is a great device, but I would say that it's mainly, for me, going to be a media consumption device, along with the ability to do great things like edit HTML for my website on this bigger canvas. So if you're buying this really as a laptop replacement, right now that seems like it's going to be difficult from my point of view, but who knows? Give me a chance to use it. I'm going to come with a full review, of course, and I'll have a full breakdown. I will try to do video editing on here. We'll see how the coding goes on the iPad Pro. Maybe I'll fall in love with it. I'm still going to order the Apple Pencil and, of course, the keyboard case so I can get the full experience. But as of now, I love the screen. I do love the device. I'm going to keep it just because it's such a beautiful screen for Netflix and YouTube consumption. And for me, that's good enough. And all the benefits of being able to do some productivity are just added bonuses. So, when it comes down to it, what's the difference between these two devices? Obviously, let me bring the Note Pro back out here. Obviously, one of these devices is running iOS. We've got 9.1. One of them is running Lollipop 5.0.2. But at the end of the day, if you want a really big screen for watching media, one thing that's better about the Note Pro is that it has the widescreen, so you're not going to get the black bars. On the iPad, you are going to get black bars when you watch media. On the upside, you do get better audio. So I compared those earlier today. You're going to get better audio because of the 4 speakers. The iPad Pro speakers sound amazing. I really love that. But I do not like black bars when watching media, so that's something to consider. Also, I haven't got the Apple Pencil yet, so I'll have to do an in-depth comparison of those two. But I love having the S Pen built in here, and that's not in addition. That's built into the price of the tablet, so I can take notes directly. That's a feature you're going to get with the Note Pro. And of course, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it really comes down to the price. And the pricing for these two, if you're really truly going to do some pro-level graphics and video editing and all of that stuff and really use the iPad Pro for its full capabilities, if you're going to try to use it as a laptop replacement, which so far I don't know that I'd recommend, we'll see in the full review, this one may be worth its cost, but you're going to need to buy the keyboard case as well as the Apple Pencil, and you're going to have to probably buy the 128 gigabyte version if you're going to use it for productivity. I bought the 32 gig because I'm mainly going to use it for media consumption. But if you're going to use this, streaming media consumption, if you're going to use this for local media or if you're going to use it for pro level tasks, you're going to want the 128 gig. That's going to cost you close to the price of a MacBook Air or even a entry-level Retina MacBook Pro. So you need to consider that. Nowadays, the Note Pro 12.2 can be had for about $400 if you want to buy one used or refurbished, and that's a great deal. So at the end of the day, these are two great tablets, just at different price points and of course different places in their life cycle. I just wanted to give you guys a quick comparison since they are so similarly sized. I will have a comparison of the iPad Pro with the Galaxy View. Now that's also a weird comparison because the Galaxy View is much bigger, has a much different purpose, but I plan on trying to get my hands on that tablet so I can do another comparison for you guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my quick rundown and initial impressions of the iPad Pro. Again, this is not a full review, so please don't criticize any of my omissions. I will have more to say about the iPad Pro in the full review. These are just the things I've noticed in using it for the first 18 hours and comparing it to the Android widescreen 12.2-inch tablet I've used for the last year and a half. If you guys have any questions or comments, please drop them below and I will be happy to get back to you guys. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it as it helps out the channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you hadn't already. Check me out on social media, Google Plus and Twitter in the description. You can also follow me writing over at highonandroid.com and at dopetechdaily.com. I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.